Well, happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, welcome everyone. We're Ken and Diana Burke from Trinity, Florida. We have five grown children and soon to be 11 grandbabies. And we're so excited for us to share with you. We've been in LifeWave for about 3 years now, and this patch has been totally amazing.
Yes, it's been spectacular. And do invite the person who shared with you today, excuse me, to thank the person who invited you today for being able to take a look at this amazing miracle of patch. And you're going to find yourself being one of three people after this 30-minute presentation. If you're number three, you're someone who likes what you see, but you like to think about some things, you want to do more research, then we get it. Or maybe you're a number two. You like what you see. You want to get some patches for you and your family. Or maybe you're a number one. You love what you see. You definitely want to get some patch on you and your family and loved ones. And you want to hit the go button on this amazing rewarding program offered to those who shared. Join our team and be able to make an impact in the world. This is what we did. So let me go ahead and we'll go ahead and share with you this amazing presentation.
So here's the question. Have you been patched yet? This little patch right here that I wear on my wrist here, it elevates, activates, and regenerates your own stem cells.
Yeah, it's spectacular. We love to give credit where credit is due, and that's to this amazing gentleman here, David Schmidt. He is the CEO and the founder of this amazing technology. Now, David started 21 years ago, believe it or not, with the Navy SEALs. They hired him to figure out a way to keep these guys awake underneath the water 36 hours, 18 hours without having to give them amphetamines. And God gave him the idea of how to create a two-patch system with this technology and an energy patch system that worked. It leveraged the light cells in their body and their fat cells as well, and it gave them energy. That led to the women's swim team at the Berkeley Institute wearing this patch, and that led to Michael Phelps wearing this technology. This technology is amazing. It's Olympic approved technology. But then David began to turn his attention to stem cells, age reversal. And in 2008, he began to do research. In over 10 years, 80 clinical trials, $4.5 million. He finally got this one patch, the X39 patch, figured out, and then got it patented. And this patent is amazing.
Yes, and this patent says, and it's in order to get a patent, you have to prove that it can do these things. So here we go. As an embodiments as a resulting of elevating a copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and wound healing. I mean, that's amazing, all those things that it can do.
Yes, it is. And think about this. You can't patent a placebo.
Mhm.
So out of the 80 clinical trials and studies, these are some of the things they discovered. The United States government said, okay, we see that. Great job. Bam, here is your patent. It's good to 2040. There's also a global patent. So no one in the world actually has this technology. We've got this technology, and what a blessing it's been for our family and friends.
So why the X39 stem cell activation patch? Well, see, the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging. I know we all are. And at age 30, only half your stem cells are active. And at age 60, you lose almost all stem cell activity.
Yeah, think about this. The very first cell you and I were in the womb was what? A stem cell. And then that morphed into every cell we now are, but you were given to reserve them throughout your entire body, in your brains, your bones, your teeth, your organs, ligaments, joints, everywhere, a portion for healing and repair. Now, the beautiful thing about a stem cell is it can morph into any cell the brain tells it. It's kind of like the holy grail of optimization in our bodies. And so if you break a bone, you're 8 years old, what happens? Well, the brain says, oh, I'm going to go ahead and send stem cells there. And they morph into bone, marrow, tissue, ligament, joint, what have you. When you're 80 years old, that doesn't happen. Why? Because as you see here, by the time you're 30, half your stem cells are now dormant, and that aging process setting in. And by the time you're 60, almost all of them are dormant. But thank the Lord for this amazing little patch, because now we can turn them back on.
So how does this X39 work? Well, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. It's patented nanocrystal technology. It reflects light to activate. It's non-transdermal. There's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants in this patch, and it's non-invasive.
Yeah, spectacular. When you think of phototherapy, photo light therapy, sunlight, when it hits our skin, the body internally begins to elevate vitamin D. This is completely different. You and I, we all emit infrared light 24/7. If you're in a pitch black room with a bunch of people and you couldn't see them, if you put infrared goggles on, you could. Why? Because all of us are emitting infrared light. Well, that infrared light is basically bouncing from inside off this patch. This patch is basically made of, it's like amino acids and salts from organic plants. And so it's using a light to actually elevate. And what it does is it elevates this peptide inside of us. And when that peptide gets elevated, the brain additionally says, oh, I got this. I'm going to start turning on all your dormant stem cells. It is genius. I mean, how can anybody figure this out? But thank God he did.
So here are the benefits of the X39 patch. Increases strength, reduction in inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle or skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, improvement skin appearance. So basically, it's achieving optimal health, which is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being.
Yeah, and what's really spectacular is we had no idea that this patch was going to change our lives physically. When our dear friend Joyce Johnson called us up 34 or 5 months ago and said, hey, I found this patch, and she had been in a car accident earlier in 2019, two of them where she was rear-ended, not her fault, and they put 4 titanium discs in her neck. And after that, she had throat swallowing issues, just weird issues going on. We'd visit her sometimes at her home. And when she calls up, say, hey, my pain is gone, and I've come across this amazing patch, that's making me feel so good. Plus my sister with her bone-on-bone knee pain, who is going to be needing knee surgery in both her knees. Her pain is gone. Her migraines are gone. And I'm like, Joyce, what are you talking about? And so I took a look at this and I said, this is absolutely amazing. And we bought the biggest batch of stuff you could get, basically these patches, began to share with our close friends and family. And it was spectacular. I remember our daughter, the first day, they live in Louisiana. We're here in Trinity, Florida. She called and said, hey, Dad, what's up, Brittany? She had given birth to a little Kendall May months earlier. And from that, she had postpartum issues, hair loss, brain fog, just emotional things. I'm sure some of you women could have related. And she called us up the first day, said, I can't believe this, but my brain fog is gone. My energy is up. I just cleaned all the drawers out in the girls' room and their closet too. I'm like, wow, Brittany, I've been doing this for a week. I really don't feel much yet, but it was spectacular to see that for her. And then as my wife.
Yeah, so it took me about 3 weeks to start feeling something. I mean, in the very beginning, I would sleep better and I'd remember my dreams, but 3 weeks into it, I was dealing with hot flashes, like 20 to 30 a day and at night, and it was horrible. And then what happened was I started wearing the patch consistently. 3 weeks in, I woke up and I didn't have any that night, and I had a few during the day. And as time went on, I had less and less. Plus, I had a thing called menopausal anxiety. It's almost like a fight or flight situation that I was feeling this anxiousness. And I guess it comes along with menopause. I'm 57 years old. And so sure enough, I started not having those issues too as well, which gave me more confidence. And I was able to actually go zip lining with my family and had fun doing activities that I normally would have said, no, I'm too afraid. So that was really neat. And plus, it builds collagen. The patch helps with collagen. And my hair and my nails have been growing like crazy. It's almost like high school hair, I tell people. Plus, other people have been mentioning things too. And sometimes we forget about these things, so it's important for us to list them on a list. I used to have hip pain after having 5 children, and I don't no longer have any hip pain anymore. Plus, I don't have any more wrist pain anymore too. So it has so many benefits.
It's crazy. My dad here, God bless his soul, never took care of himself. Here he was 85 years old, 280 pounds, 1 kidney, 12 medications. Then he gets COVID. Now I have to give him a walker because his lungs are very limited on capacity because his doctor says now your lungs are scarred. So he's walking around with his head all day long, can't get 20 feet of the walker. I share the patch with him 5 weeks in. He calls me, Ken, what's up, Dad? I can breathe again. Buy me a plane to go see Brittany. He's in Florida, in Louisiana. And I thought he was delirious. I'm like, Dad, you can't walk 20 feet through your walker. And 6 weeks later on his own, he's in an Uber to Tampa International Airport, flies out and go visits Brittany and the great grandbabies for a week. blew our minds that his lungs restored themselves. I've never heard of such a thing. I was so excited. I was calling my clients. I owned an advertising company at the time, and I was calling my family and friends and clients. I said, "Man, you're not going to believe this past what it's doing for us. You got to take a look at this thing, you know." And then 2.5 weeks in for me, running an 18-man advertising company that I started from nothing and never could find really good sales reps, and so a lot of weight was on me over 10 years to continue to hustle, close sales and still run the organization. A lot of stress. Well, my stress went from about 85%, 2.5 weeks in, down to about 15%. And it never came back. The stress I have now is here. But the gap is something I didn't even know existed, which is called living in the present. And I got the gift of living in the present. So now when we go on vacation, I'm actually there. When I'm with my grandbabies, I'm actually present. And who knew? I would have never thunk that. I already was in good shape. I mean, I do intermittent fasting, I do CrossFit, you know, and so, but none of that turns on my dormant stem cells, you know, and praise God that we found this amazing thing that's done so much for our friends. I had another friend of mine, he had 2 frozen shoulders, had an awesome daughter there. She had a golf scholarship. Their daddy-daughter daytime was on the golf course. Well, for 14 months, that kind of came to a halt because both his shoulders were frozen, and his wife had to help him put a shirt over his head. 5 days in, he's like, Ken, you're not gonna believe this. I'm back on the golf course, full range of motion. Blew my mind. So it's amazing what your body's looking to do once you give it an opportunity to do it again.
So here is the topography map of a 77-year-old woman who placed the X39 on the back of her neck. And in session 1, you can see she's got lots of inflammation. You can see all the red there and lack of brain coherence. Session 2, just 3 weeks on the X39, no more inflammation, improved brain coherence. And then session 3, which 6 weeks on the X39, a complete turnaround. And that could be like me, you know, with all that inflammation, I was feeling those hot flashes. And then I got within about 3 weeks, I was not having the hot flashes then. So that's really neat.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, inflammation isn't always necessarily seen as being overweight. It's internally it's going on. And when when your brain is inflamed like this, so is the rest of your body. Well, my brain apparently was inflamed like that also. And so grateful for this patch.
So the X39 long-term results per case studies on thisisitinfo.com. The first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. And within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. So it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing, says David Schmidt, the CEO and inventor.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just thinking about your hair because it used to be like up to here.
Yeah, I know.
And literally, she has like her high school hair.
Yeah.
So think about this. Genes, you know, resveratrol in red wine got notoriety for red wine being good for you years ago because it reset 2 genes, right? And so, but this is resetting 4,000 genes. All right. And so it's about 30-year genes. Like you're getting a reboot. 6 weeks, we talk about that. Your brain becomes balanced. Collagen. You have more collagen in your bones than you do calcium. I enrolled a dentist recently in this. She goes, Ken, you know you have stem cells in your teeth. I'm like, seriously? She says, yeah, well, that would explain something because a light bulb went on after almost 3 years. I told my wife last month, you know, this new dentist shared this with us about the patch and what it does, you know, with stem cells in the teeth. And, you know, come to think about it, we were getting cavities up to prior to before this patch, but we haven't had any cavities since we've been seeing the dentist every 6 months since. So, I mean, everybody's different, but I'll take it. You know, and then I had a friend of mine got hit by a car. He's in my networking group and he was riding his bike and he did a full body scan on him. And it said, oh, Mitch, we just discovered you have a stretched aorta, right? And so looking at this thing, heart reverses in 6 months by really about 8 years. Well, they told Mitch, you got to come back in less than 12 weeks. We're giving you bypass surgery because your heart's 35% stretched. He puts a patch on, not thinking about that. He's just thinking about pain management, whatever. Goes back in pre-op and they scan him like, oh, your heart's only 5%. And so no need. And the sample study they did was with 15 people. 14 of them had their heart reverse in age by about 8 years. So you think about every 8 weeks, depending on your age, your heart's reversing by 2 years. Well, we share this with a Dr. Adam Shiner. He's in Tampa, not too far from him here. He's been on Dr. Oz. He's a plastic surgeon. He requires his patients to wear this patch 1 month prior to having facial surgery because they heal in days versus weeks. And he shows that on his website. And we talked to him at an event that he was at. My friend ran up to him and said, "Hey, doc, you're not going to believe what this did to my heart." And the doctor said, "Well, I can tell you what it is." And we're like, "Yeah, doc, please do." Because your DNA is always talking to your brain. And the DNA said, "I made your heart to look like this, but now it looks like that." And the brain says, "I'll go ahead and fix it." I thought that was an amazing example from an MD perspective.
That's awesome. And how do we wear the X39? Well, we wear the patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off to repair and rejuvenate. Then you throw the patch away, and then you put a new patch on and repeat. You can wear more than one patch at a time, but it's not necessary, and you drink plenty of water.
Absolutely. And you can, like I said, Diane said, you can wear it anywhere in the body. Now, they had to test it in 2 independent times consistently in order to get this patent. But what's really important is that, like I said, you see me wear it here. Diana wears it on her arm, and so wherever you feel comfortable, you can put on where you have pain, But remember, it's the brain controlling the process, bringing the optimization to you. And the key is you want to drink plenty of water. And plenty of water, take your body weight, divide by 2. That's how many ounces you should be. So if someone weighs 128 pounds, then if they divide in 2, that's 64. Well, that's half a gallon, right? And you want to put like a quarter teaspoon of, say, some Celtic salt, Baja Gold salt, what have you. Just a quarter teaspoon. You're not even going to taste it in a half a gallon or in a whole gallon. Put a half a teaspoon. That literally will help optimize the recovery process of what this patch is doing for you.
So X39 is so sophisticated, yet it's simple to explain. And the testimonies, as you can see, of the X39 are life-changing and emotional. But the best thing about it, the X39 absolutely works on everyone who wears it persistently and consistently.
Yeah, over time. And we say this works on everybody, on everything, because the brain's controlling it if they simply give it the time to be able to do what it needs to do. And there are things that you and I, when we're wearing this patch, we're not even going to feel. I did not feel our teeth getting better. Right? Diane didn't feel her hair growing longer. We're not feeling our bone density getting thicker. We're not really feeling, in part, our cardiovascular system getting younger. I mean, these are amazing things. And cardiovascular, number one killer of Americans today, we have the ability to hopefully knock a little dent in that thing by bringing hope to our family and friends. So it's spectacular. And it's advised to wear this patch 1 month for every 10 years of life. Alrighty. And so, but as you continue to wear it beyond those months, like us, 34 or 5 months in, I mean, look what's happening. What a blessing. And, with 10 grandbabies, soon to be 11, we do a lot of traveling now. And it's easy for us to get on the floor, roll around with them, don't have the aches and pains, get up in the morning. It's just like, I feel like I'm 21, and I'd be able to put the luggage up over my head in the bins, get on the floor with the grandbabies, put on my shoulders, swim in the pool with them, what have you. All the quality of life things that begin to happen once you begin to get your health back and begin to get free inside your own body, and then the things you don't even know what's going on inside your own body that's going to set you up for success for the long haul for a better quality of life, right? So what I do now is we want to begin to share. We're going to get into, like I said, you can be a 3, 2, or 1 in this business. And so if you're 3, you want to do more research. 2, you want to, look about how you get some patches, and 1, what it's like to be able to potentially get in and begin to share this with us. And so I'm presenting this opportunity kind of like a buffet where we're going to present the whole buffet, and you just pick if a 3, 2, or 1, what you want. Right now, we're going to really get into the amazingness of how you can begin to share this with other people without having to be a salesman. Right. And so that's the thing, is that we have this amazing website. It's called thisisit.info.com. It has all the clinical trials, the studies, and everything else on here that someone would like to know. Well, you can send it to them. So when someone asks you, hey, Diane, can you tell me more about this patch? I said, yeah, great question. I've got a link that will tell you all about it. Give me your phone. I'll text you a link on it. Take a look and tell me what you think. And there it is right there. And that's duplicatable. When it comes to being able to get the word out on something, like if you're going to share a good movie or a restaurant and go back to the office next day, you're going to tell everybody, it's the same thing. You don't want to become the salesperson to sell them on the movie, sell them on the restaurant. You just want to share your excitement. Here we give the ability to share our excitement in a way that keeps it simple, pique their curiosity, and then send them this link here so they can learn more about it, and you can circle back on them after that. And also, you want to be part of a company that's going somewhere. Well, guess what? This company it was at just 20 million with these other patches they sold after 15 years. Back in COVID, basically. And then this patch came to market during COVID when the whole world was shutting down. And through word of mouth, not social media, no advertising, this company began to shoot like a rocket, right? It's from 80 million over 200 million, 600 million last year. They're tracking to hit 1 billion this year. 86% of that is coming from this revenue. And this is a dialed in company. They're never late on getting us patches, never late on getting us paid. And so we can rely on, and they're a very profitable company and debt-free company. And so you can rely on a company that's really well-oiled machine if you're going to partner with somebody on getting the word out on something. And so here is these wonderful couple, Steve and Gina Merritt, right? Along on the left-hand side here, this was their first meeting back in August 2023. The founder and the CEO were so amazed at how fast this team was growing. They had to come down and be part of their first meeting. Had 1,800 of us of this first meeting then. And Steve and Gina Merritt, they came on board to implement a system that anybody could follow to make this simple and easy, duplicatable, and one could potentially prosper. They hit the highest rank in this business using this system in just 23 days that usually took 4 years to do. And when my friend told me about this, I thought, what's just a chance I might be able to get opportunity on this, even though I didn't have time for really anything else. But here's the deal. I didn't have time for a side hustle. I was working 60, 70, 80 hours a week running my advertising company. But belief makes room for itself. Once I saw this patch did for our family, our friends, and once I saw how this amazing team has a system that one could follow that allowed me to allow God to be first, family next, my work second, 68 hours a week, and then this here, without having to disrupt that, this is what we did. And we followed this. And so within 22 months, this thing was paying us, and everybody's different. We don't make any claims. 4 times what I was paying myself running my own company, and I was doing pretty well. And it was at that point that my attorney and business broker said, what are you doing? Spend all this time and stress and energy here when you're getting super blessed over here. And then we put the company up for sale and lived a new day. And that's part of what our hope is here for you today. Maybe you're the number one. Maybe you're ready, for more. And without having to change the most important things in your life, keep those things first in life, the work you're doing in your life, keep all that first, but implement the system we have. And once again, this company we're with, it's the number one growth company in the world in this relational marketing space. And so 2 years running. So it's pretty spectacular. And so what is it for you? Where on here would you like to have more of? Here's the deal. 85% of Americans today are not happy. Some don't like at all the fact that the job they work in. Think about that. And I've been there. What are we doing? We're trading the quality of our life with stress and giving up time to do it. What this did for me and what we see doing is there's over 300 people, by the way, in our team. And by the way, let me back up. This team we're part of, that Steve and Gina Merritt led, started basically 36, 7 months ago. So with 2 people, now is about 500,000 people. Expects to be 1 million people by year end. It's the fast growing team like itself in the world, not just in this company. Because we're following a system that can do what? That can give you what we see on the screen. This is what it did for us. It got us to become debt free. It gave me more time. We travel wonderfully now, and it's in 80 countries, so we have the ability to share this with people and stewardesses and other friends and wherever we're at, France and wherever, and so it's amazing. What is it for you that you're looking for, that this might be a ray of hope for you? So, and here's how it starts. It's so simple. It's you plus 2 friends left, 2 friends right. It's 4 people. I call it like a foreplay. You want to replicate this foreplay, right? Because it's easy. And you're just buying patches. I'll show you here what you're buying. And you're not buying a position, you're just buying product. You come in, you buy product, and you get your family, your friends that you love and care about, that and you're going to call them up, not going to sell them something. You're going to call them up because you believe you found something that's going to bless their life. And once they take a look and get some passes with you, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, bam, you hit this first position and you begin to implement this play where they want to get 2 left, 2 right. Well, then what happens is your team is growing. What does that mean? That means as your team grows, your team commission grows, one of the ways we get paid, and that can grow all the way to $25,000 a week. And I know it sounds like a lot, but that number was important to me. And then here's another way we get paid that's unlimited. The company wants to reward you for when you enroll a friend and for being, your company wants to reward you for being, helping other people get the word out too. And so your friend you enroll, well, that's your first position. You get first generation, you get 25% bonus on top of that. They enroll somebody, that's your second position generation. You get 20% of that person. That second generation person enrolls somebody, you may not know who they are. The company still identifies as tied to you as the third generation, 20% to you. So that's 25, 20, 20, and so think if they're all doing 1,000 a week, boom, there's 250, 200, 200. Well, if you keep enrolling more people, say 20 left, 20 right, now it's 40 people here, 40 people there, 40 people there. That's 120 people potentially you can be getting paid off of. And so you can begin to see how the upside on this is. And it's the simplicity. It just starts with 4. And if you really knew nothing about the comp plan and simply just enrolled 2 left, 2 right, and everybody doing the same thing, it would take you all the way up through all the way this company pays. And it is spectacular. So how does it start? Well, you can buy a 3, 6, or 20 pack of these, what they call a sleeve. Now, a sleeve has 30 of these patches inside there. And typically the retail rate on here is about 150 bucks. But why do you want to do that if you would like to get it as a wholesale rate? And you can buy it wholesale and simply wear the product, not have to share with anybody. And here's how you do this. Now, for us, we saw the 20 pack as being the best way to go because it is the most cost-effective way. It gets the product down to the lowest possible price point, about $87.50 and change plus shipping and tax, and versus $99, which is the typical wholesale rate. And so we saw that 20 pack. And remember, it's 1 month for every 10 years of life is what's recommended to wear this. So I said, okay, I'm getting 6 for me and 3 for my wife. Just kidding. She looks like she's 30, but get 11, whatever. And so we had 11, and then I had 9 more to share, if you will. And what we do is we wouldn't share a whole one of these. We just begin to, when we enrolled somebody, we'd front them 1 or 2 of these, get them on it. They start getting excited before they even got theirs in the mailbox. Then when they got them in, they give them back to us, called place and replace. And having the additional on hand to do that got us started. And I was like, Joyce, is there a bigger batch of this something I buy? No, that's only it. Can I buy this more than once? No. It's it. That's it. And I said, okay, $17.50. I said, this is crazy. And so that's what we did, right? What do you want to do? Well, if $17.50 or whatever, the belief isn't high enough right now, and you can still upgrade to that, but you can get this 6-pack, 6 of these. 6 30-day supplies. That's basically 1 month for you, 1 month for your loved one, and then that gives you 4 to be able to share. That gets it down to about 89 bucks and change at $535. Or if you're just like, I don't know, I just want to kick the tires and let me see if I can put this on me. Well, 97% of those who wear this patch for 90 days see results worldwide. So get yourself a 9-day runway. Now, if you're married, you're going to let your spouse suffer as you're starting to get better. But, it's a free world, right? So that's how we get started in this amazing opportunity. And then you get on a 2-sleep monthly maintenance. So for my wife and I right now to be thankfully making 7 figures, our overhead is 1 for me and 1 for her every month. That's it. So after you get your kit, one of these 3, then you go on a 2-sleep monthly maintenance, and that's going to pay you all the ways the company pays. And if you get on a 1-sleep monthly maintenance, that's at least going to give you the opportunity to make $100 a week and continue to stay in the product. And the person who invited you, they can unpack that more for you. We just want to share a couple more things here as we wrap up in the next 2 minutes with you, is that, remember, we have a duplicatable system, thanks to Steve and Gina Merritt, with a This Is a Team. Now, the website on the left, thisisatinfo.com, that's the one I showed you earlier. That's what you want to share with people that keeps you from having to be a salesperson. That is a salesperson. And then thisisateam.com, this is where you can see the duplicatable system that we have to offer. And so now is your time. Are you ready to make a move with us? Team up with us and change countless lives, or at least get this patch on you, your loved ones, or do more research. What is your call? Let the person know who invited you. Now, we have a team. We have Zoom events that go on basically almost every day except for Sunday. And we have live events also. We just had 3 in Fort Lauderdale, 1 in Puerto Rico, 1 in Orlando. Now we have one coming up in July 19th in Atlanta, July 23rd in Houston, and July 30th in West Palm Beach. And here's one in Atlanta that's coming up here on the 19th at the Marriott in Northeast. And then we have one, in Houston coming up here, 8 p.m., July 23rd. And here's the deal. Last 2 minutes here. Besides getting this patch, the most important thing you could ever do is get a ticket to join us at Next Level. It's just a Friday night, all day Saturday, because they appeal to busy working people. And what happens there is you're going to see some of the 300 people hit the highest ring in this business. A 63-year-old who lives in a little town of Texas with just 650 people hit the highest ring in this business, never succeeded in something like this. An 81-year-old in Puerto Rico hit the highest ring in the business. A 24-year-old out of college hit the highest ring in this business. People who are not salespeople, common people creating uncommon results because they have an amazing system with an amazing path that lights up people's lives in this amazing comp plan. So, and we're having if you come a day early, for those who hit a certain level, they'll be able to come to a presidential summit. And this is in Orlando, and it's worth every penny. And we have other things that are coming up also in Anaheim for their major corporate event with LifeWave, and then all-in event. It's going to be spectacular in January. And we have an audio podcast. We have the training also on a school platform. You can scan it here. And you can subscribe to This Is a Team YouTube channel and Facebook page. and just to get a peek of really what's happening under the hood. Well, once again, it's been a blessing to be with you all today and an honor to get with you and share this opportunity. Do get with the person who invited you and let them know what it is that you would love to be able to do. And we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you in the next Zoom and possibly in person at the next level event. All right, blessings, everybody.
Nothing.